entering the worksite, you will be presented with the risk assessment form and site safety rules. These documents highlight the hazards, risks, and the controls that have been put in place to ensure your safety. They are specific to the site. The risk assessment also contains information on emergency procedures such as grid references, emergency contacts, and evacuation procedures. Your Forestry Works Manager or Site Safety Coordinator will present it and, more importantly, discuss it thoroughly with you. The risk assessment is the most fundamental link in the entire health and safety chain. Listen carefully to what is being said. If you are unsure of any points, ask for clarification. Further guidance will be given in the relevant AFAG guides, which are listed on the risk assessment. It is essential that you read the risk assessment and understand what it means. Failure to do so could lead to a misunderstanding and result in a serious or fatal accident. Once the risk assessment has been read and signed, you are clear to enter the working environment. Your commitment to safety, however, is not over, and you must continue to be alert to the safety of yourself and your colleagues. The safety equipment worn by you has several functions and purposes. Do not take it for granted. Your high visibility jacket or vest is there to make your presence known to your co-workers. Machine operators will have a greatly reduced chance of seeing someone not wearing high visibility clothing, especially in poor light conditions or in the rain. Maintaining the jacket, and above all keeping it clean, means that you should be visible to those working around you at all times. It will also help you to be found more quickly if you are injured and cannot move. Your boots help you to keep your footing on uneven and slippery terrain and support your ankles, preventing sprains and breaks. Always wear steel toe caps on site. Your toes and feet will be protected from falling objects. You should check your boots are laced correctly and the soles offer good grip. You should wear an approved hard hat at all times on site. This will give you protection from falling objects. Typically, over 25,000 trees will be felled on the average harvesting site, and persistent danger exists from snap tops and dislodged branches. Remember to keep looking up for hazards and avoid walking near standing trees in windy conditions. The use and correct maintenance of your personal protective equipment should ensure that chances of injury are greatly reduced. If it is worn out, damaged, or out of date, have it replaced immediately. The mechanised harvester is the vehicle used for cutting down and processing trees for pickup by the forwarder. It is a self-contained unit manned by one crewman. There are many hazards associated with harvesters, and strict safety procedures must be observed. The area surrounding the vehicle is split into two separate zones, the felling arc and the machine surrounding. The felling arc, which will move as the harvester head rotates, is measured by the 90-degree angle to the front of the machine head. There is a minimum safe distance of 200 metres, or the length of 2 football fields, that must be maintained. This is due to the danger of the hydraulically driven chain disintegrating under load. This is known as chain shot. Chain shot is capable of penetrating marguard screens and will seriously injure unprotected personnel at a great distance. When working to the rear and sides of the vehicle away from the felling arc, a risk zone of 2 tree lengths plus an extra 10 metres consideration for the boom length must be maintained at all times when the machine is in operation. Felled trees can easily fall into each other, causing a domino effect. It is also possible for a top to snap from a tree when it is felled. This section is then capable of travelling over distance and can be fatal. Do not approach a machine until the machine has powered down and the operator has acknowledged your presence. Always be aware of dangers and maintain risk zones. The forwarder is a vehicle used to transport timber clear of the ground from the worksite to the stacking area. Like the harvester, the forward has a series of rules that apply whilst in its vicinity. The minimum safe distance to keep from an operating forwarder is twice the loader length plus the length of the longest product handled by the machine. It is possible to get hit by the loader, grab, or falling produce if within this risk zone. The forwarder, when under heavy load or on unstable or steep ground, can topple and roll with its load. When driving a forwarder, the operator has greatly reduced visibility to the rear of the vehicle, especially with a loaded bunk. When approaching the vehicle, it should be done with clear view of the operator and at no time out with their line of sight. Ensure the machine has powered down and the operator has acknowledged your presence before approaching inside the risk zone. Under normal conditions, a forwarder should not reverse with a loaded bunk. However, you should never drive or walk up behind any working machine. Although most felling is now handled by harvesting machines, there are situations that can only be dealt with by individual chainsaw operators. This is the most hazardous operation on the worksite. Chainsaw operators, like harvesters in the forest, require a safety risk zone of 2 tree lengths. Again, do not approach inside the risk zone until the operator has stopped work and acknowledged your presence. They must never work alone on site, but be paired with another worker at all times. Agreed reporting systems must be in place, and these must be fail-safe. Chainsaw operators can be difficult to see from the cabs of machines, and they must be aware of the locations of chainsaw operators. Make sure risk zones cannot overlap, and chainsaw operators and machines have agreed and clearly defined working areas. Road haulage vehicles are used to transport timber out of the forest. Again, there are many dangers associated with these vehicles, and as such, the same consideration should be given to them as to the forwarders. The risk zone is twice the length of the loader plus the length of the product being handled. The driver, when reversing the lorry and when operating the loader, will have reduced visibility. As with all vehicles driving in the forest, the use of headlights will aid in the vehicles being seen easily. Potential danger also exists from spilled loads. Even when strapped, there is a possibility that the load may settle and the straps loosen. This could cause a log to fall off or even make the vehicle unstable. Keep well clear of timber lorries. When in the forest, signs will keep you informed that you're approaching or entering a worksite. Signs not only tell you the location and directions, but will also warn of potential hazards that may lie within the area. When in the forest, it is not only your responsibility to read these signs and abide by them, but to make sure that others have seen them as well. Signs in the forest will most often be temporary. This means that things such as bad weather or heavy vehicles may compromise their status. If you notice a sign has been knocked down or in some other way concealed, then take responsibility and repair it. Or if you can't, inform the site safety coordinator. Timber stacks are found throughout the forest. In general, they will be safely stacked to a maximum height of 2 meters. If for any reason they need to exceed 2 meters, this must be referred to in the risk assessment. There may be cases where the risk from stacking above 2 meters is low, or there is a limited stacking space. The Forest Works manager should then assess the risk and record the reasons for stacking above 2 meters. It is important that timber stacks are clearly signed and should not be approached unless necessary for work. On no account climb on stacked timber. Climbing or interfering with these stacks can cause destabilization and the stack to collapse, causing potential injury or a fatality. The public are allowed responsible access to forestry land under the Scottish Outdoor Access Code. When working in the forest, attention must be paid to the fact that the public, despite warnings, may enter into dangerous areas and risk zones. It is the responsibility of all forest workers to stop work. Likewise, it is the responsibility of the public to be aware of the dangers present in the forest. Machine operators will have difficulty seeing persons, even if wearing high visibility clothing. Stay out of risk zones. Forest workers should, where possible, inform the public, but if warnings are ignored, work must cease until the public are clear of the work site. As you have seen, there are many potential hazards involved in forest operations. However, the forest can be a safe experience if you adhere to the rules. On top of this, common sense and responsible access should allow the forest worker and the forest visitor to operate in safety. It is the responsibility of all individuals to be aware of the constant danger that the working forest presents and to inform others of the risks around them.